Hello, I'm Sid, and I must admit that this is not the episode I had planned to make. It's not even the kind of content I usually talk about. But there are moments when something shakes you so deeply that staying silent is no longer an option. So here I am with you. The screen is kept black to show my solidarity with more than 100 Indians who have been inhumanly deported back from the US of A. And from today, I have no shame and no reservations to call it as the United States of aggression and deportation. When I first read about more than 100 Indians being deported from the United States, I felt disturbed. But then, when I learned that they were shackled, chained like dangerous criminals for the entire journey, I had no feeling other than that of utter anguish, anger, rage, fury. Why am I doing this podcast? Because if we as Indians can scroll past this news without feeling anger, shame, or even discomfort, then we have failed as a nation. We have failed as a society. These were our people, humiliated, restrained, and sent back home in disgrace, not because they committed crimes, but because they lacked paperwork. It's because they wanted to make a future for themselves, their families, their children, their brothers, their sisters, their fathers, their mothers, their wives. This episode is not just about deportation, it's about dignity. It's about the brutal reality that no one wants to talk about, shoving it under the carpet. And if I don't talk about it today, I will just be another person looking the other way. So let's dive into this story, because if we don't stand up for our own, who will? Here's what happened. In a single operation, US authorities deported over 100 Indian nationals on one flight, and that too a military flight, a transport aircraft. The shocking part? They were shackled, arms and ankles bound, guarded like high-risk criminals for hours. They sat, restrained, struggling to eat, move, or even use the restroom. Why were they treated this way? Because they overstayed their visas. That's it. Not because they committed violent crimes, not because they posed a security threat. Their only offense was staying too long in a country they had hoped to build a future in. A country where they hoped to live the American dream. The officials say this is protocol. But let me ask you, when did protocol replace basic human dignity? It's easy to talk about 100 deportees like they were just numbers, just statistics. But these are real people. Fathers, mothers, students, sisters, people who had dreams like any of us. One man said he felt worse than an animal, forced to sit in shackles for hours, unable to shift his legs properly. Another spoke of the sheer shame. The moment he landed in India, seeing his family pain as they watched him walk out in disgrace and as a loser. Imagine leaving your home country full of hope, spending years working towards a better future only to return in chains. Imagine what does to a person's dignity, what it does. Imagine if you were someone you knew on that plane. Now here's the part no one is talking about. What happens to them now? What does the future hold for them? With a deportation stamp on their passport, they can't even go to other avenues, other countries. None of them are going to accept it. None of them are going to give them the visas. And what do? Many of these deportees have sold everything they had to make a life in the US. Some have nothing to come back to. Jobs gone. Savings spent. Families scattered. And here's the worst part. Our system doesn't know what to do with them. They land, they get processed, and then? What? No financial aid, no mental health support, no rehabilitation program, just the social stigma that whispers, you failed. That whispers, you're a loser. So I ask, is this how we treat our own? Does India even have a plan for these people, or they just expect this issue to disappear like so many of them others? Maybe you are thinking, they overstayed, they broke the rules, so why is this my problem? Fine. Let's challenge that. Did they break immigration laws? Undoubtedly, yes. But tell me, does that mean they deserve to be shackled like criminals? Since when does overstaying a visa warrant humiliation? If we as Indians don't care about our own being treated this way abroad, what does that say about us? Today it's them. Tomorrow it could be someone you know. So this is my question to you. Do you accept this? Or will you demand that our people, no matter where they are, be treated with dignity? This isn't just about deportation, it's about dangerous precedents. If we accept the treatment today, what happens tomorrow? Where is our government's response? Have we demanded an explanation from the US? Have we set up any system to help these returnees? I'm sorry for lack of my knowledge. Maybe we are doing it, but nothing that comes to my notice in the news. Where is the outrage? Why isn't this headline news? Why are we more concerned about celebrity gossips and what happens to Katrina Kaif and the Khans of the world than the fact that our people are being humiliated in another country? Where is our self-respect as a nation? If we let the world treat our citizens like disposable objects, what does that say about us? Where are our celebrities who tweet on every single incident, but they won't tweet on this one? Why? Where are they? This isn't about politics. This is about human dignity. This is about human respect. This is about human rights, for which US holds itself as custodian for the world. This is about drawing a line and saying this is not okay. This episode was not easy to make, but I had to. It was my inner voice. Because if we keep ignoring things like this, these become a new normal. If we don't talk about them, they will keep happening. And the intensity of impact will keep on increasing. So here's what you can do. Talk about this incident. Raise your voice. Start conversations. Raise awarenesses. Tell people around you what's happening. Demand for action. Question your leaders. Ask them what they are doing to ensure Indians abroad are treated with dignity. That's the bare minimum. Support organizations that help deportees. If you don't help them, who will? I'm Sid, and I'll go back to my regular content soon. But today I needed to do this because silence makes us as a complicit. And I refuse to be silent. Thank you for listening. Let's not let this be forgotten. You've been listening to Shackled Journeys from the United States of Aggression, the untold stories of deportation. Keep the conversation live because the world is watching how we treat our own. Thanks.